Hello everyone, this is David Mowa, aka Pyramid Giza, Truth and Spiritual Ministries founder. Today I would just like to address a few things, but before I do that, I'd just like to say, thanks for all the support which everyone gives me through my Twitter feeds, through my Facebook, and all the inboxes which I'm getting daily on different subjects, different questions. I would like to tell the people that, just be patient, because the fact that I'm a student, I'm still researching and studying daily, going to the library daily, reading the books daily which I read, and I'm consumed, just as you all are, by the system that we live in today, by punching in and pushing out, either through school, through our jobs, and etc., and just all the other things which life throws at us. But I believe that we will all come together for a common purpose, and that's to find out what we're really supposed to do on this earth, and find the truth, because the truth will truly set us free. That's what Truth and Spiritual Ministries is all about. So, without further ado, I would just like to go into my first arguments and my statements, which I would like to put upon this particular video today, and that's based on the United States of America versus the United States of which we see today. And this is mostly for my United States viewers, for the people who are in the United States as of right now, or who have family members in the United States, or who have any relation to the country which is called the United States today. This particular segment is for you. Well, basically, there's a huge difference between the United States and the United States of America. And that's what I want to clarify in this particular video, in this particular segment today. There is a huge difference between the United States and the United States of America. Well, if you look into history, the United States of America was founded in 1776 by 4 founding fathers, which 4 of them were all Freemasons. And it's got signed, the Constitution of the United States of America got signed by 46 leaders, and out of those 46 leaders, more than half of them were Freemasons. Freemasons play a big role in the Constitution and the independence which America got in 1776. But what one must also understand is that the whole concept and the whole reason behind the founding of America, it opens a whole new can of worms, and it opens a whole new gate to truth, because the real reason why America was founded is an incredible story, and I believe that story is being hidden, and it's not being shown in our history books and in our history classes, and especially for the viewers who are from America and who have studied or have been in classes due to American Revolution or anything with the history of America in particular. Well, in 1776, America got its freedom from the monarch or the monarchy of Great Britain when they won the war, and they became a free nation. A free nation which signed a constitution where, in my personal opinion, is the greatest document which the world has ever seen, because it's the only document which the administration laid forth in front of the people of the nation to give them ultimate freedom to believe in whatever they wish to believe in, ultimate independence, and the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence, which allow them to have their own sovereign freedom on whichever they wish to believe and whichever they wish to act. And all of this is incredibly new, because the founding of America was truly based on escaping the treacherous attacks of Rome, and what happened in Rome and the rest of the world through the Roman Empire and through the monarchy of Britain. Huge catastrophe for centuries after centuries after centuries. The same families, the same money, the same dynasties destroying, exploiting, tyrannizing, manipulating the whole human race. But the forefathers had enough of all of that, had enough of the Roman Catholic Church and the tyranny and exploitation which they were putting upon the people of the world, which they set aside and left that great civilization. And they left it to found America, to give people ultimate freedom. And America was an example to the rest of the world what freedom was really about. And in the early upcomings of America, from the 1776 times all the way to about 1830s, it was in freedom, where people had absolute freedom. There was no laws, there was no permits, there was no licensing. You could practically do whatever you wished to do. And that was the true foundation of America. Home of the free, land of the brave. That's what it was truly about. But all of that changed in 1870. All of it changed in 1870, because if you are to do your homework and you are to read and study the books, it will tell you that in 1868 America broke out in a civil war, monstrosity of chaos and destruction, where literally one half of America fought the other half in bloody war, where over 700,000 Americans lost their lives. But when that kind of catastrophe and destruction vast over a nation such as America, or any nation in the world, that nation will never stand to be the same again. So after the war, roughly around 1870, 1871, a group of men came together in Delaware and incorporated a new company called the United States Corporation in Delaware, called the United States Corporation. And in their laws, they put that any employee of that corporation will be called a citizen, and anybody can incorporate a corporation. Even I can, even you can. But when you do incorporate a corporation by law, you have to go to the lawyers, you have to go to the law firms, and you have to do it legally, in the sense that every corporation must have a president. So the United States has a president, Obama, and then every corporation has a vice president, so they have a vice president, and every corporation has a treasury of secretary, so they have a treasury of secretary. It's just a business, it's just a corporation. So what people must truly understand is that 1871 demolished the Constitution, the original Constitution, which allowed the people of America to be given absolute sovereign of their entire life through the Bill of Rights, through the Declaration of Independence, and through the U.S. of America Constitution, which was given to the people through the Founding Fathers, because they believed that human beings were to be in a nation where they were able to believe whatever they wished to believe, and they were able to have absolute sovereignty of their entire lives and for their families and for their loved ones. But if the Founding Fathers were to come back today, they would really, be incredibly displaced, incredibly baffled of what ended up to be what they didn't want to happen, what they didn't want to be, and that is corrupted civilization with corrupted politicians, corrupted men, and now it's simply just a foreign corporation. Because in 1776, when America was founded, it was founded in Philadelphia. The United States of America's headquarters, capital of the United States of America, was in Philadelphia. That's why it's called the Keystone State. So once you begin to understand that Pennsylvania is the Keystone State, and the capital of the United States of America is Philadelphia. But then, today, what is the headquarters of the government of America today? I mean, of the United States today? Washington, D.C. Because logic alone will tell you that if Washington, D.C. is the capital, it's not the capital of the United States of America. Because capitals don't move, they don't change. It's either a new corporation has taken over or a whole new government came in place. And that's exactly what happened. The corporation took over and became the government. So in simpler terms, there are two governments in power in America, but one is in more power than the other, and that's the United States Corporation. The United States, and their headquarters, the United States Corporation's headquarters, is located in Washington, D.C. Barack Obama is the president of a corporation, not a republic that was founded in 1776. No, he is the president of a foreign corporation which was formed in Delaware in 1871. Just like Sears, just like Walmart, just like McDonald's, it's a corporation. We're talking business, we're talking money, we're talking commodities, we're talking large sums of business, period. So when you begin to understand that, then for the first time you realize that there are two governments in America today. There are two separate governments in America today. That's why logic alone will tell you that there's a difference between the state of California or California state. The state of California is the actual California, which was founded in 1776. But California state is owned by the United States Corporation. And then there's Virginia state and the state of Virginia. So there's two governments in every state. That's why there's the state of Washington and Washington state. But Washington D.C. is not a state. Washington D.C. is just a district, which they put there, that is where the headquarters of the corporation will be in power. That's where the United States Corporation will be in power. And they said that anybody who is to work for this corporation called United States Corporation will be a citizen, will be called a citizen. So when you go to the bank, or you are a or you go to the court and the lawyer asks you, are you a U.S. citizen? What you think they are asking you is, are you lawfully an American? When in point of fact, no. They're asking you, are you an employee of a foreign company that was incorporated in 1870 called the United States Corporation? Get it. Open a book. Do something you have never done. Go to a library. Read. Study. Understand where this stuff is really coming from. And then once you understand as well that America is considered the new Rome, that's why before the founding of America, around 1770, 1760, the place which we call the District of Columbia was, in point of fact, called Rome. Google it. Type in Google Rome, Maryland. Rome, Maryland. That Washington district, which we call the capital of the United States, is, point of fact, called Rome, Maryland, because the Jesuits who owned that land before the foundation of America was even founded in 1776, it was called Rome. Rome, Maryland. And that's why it's called Capitol Hill, because that all goes back to the ancient Roman Empire. Open a book, do some research, open a book on ancient Roman history. It will tell you that every morning, where did Caesar go? He went up on the hill called Capitoline Hill, above the Senate. Same thing that we have today, Capitol Hill. So the majority of the Roman philosophies transformed into what we have today in America, because the Jesuits, they made it perfect. They designed it perfect. And when you look at the geographical context of the capital of the United States in a geographical formation, you will see some incredible symbolism by the Freemasons who designed the thing, who designed that geographical district, which is called the District of Columbia. It's not a state, it's a foreign corporation which has their headquarters located there, period. Understand what this stuff really in fact means. There is two governments in power. There's two different types of citizenships you could have in America now. You could have the United States citizenship, which is basically telling to yourself, if you understand, that you are an employee, just like you're an employee to Ford Motor Company, or you're an employee to General Motors, or you're an employee to McDonald's, or Tim Hortons, whatever the case may be. But when you understand that, that tells you that when you go to court, or you go to any legal procedures which you have to take upon in your life, you're not going to be covered by no rights. Because when you are an employee of a corporation, you have no rights. When you go to work, they own you while you are there. For those 8 hours that you are there, you are under their jurisdiction. They own you. They tell you when to eat. They tell you when to, go on a break. They tell you when to use the bathroom. They own you. But after those 8 hours are done and you leave their jurisdiction, now you are on your own. But you have no rights. You're not covered by the Constitution. You're not covered by the Declaration of Independence. You're not covered by the Bill of Rights. But there are very few Americans who are still Americans today, who are actually having the American citizenship, and they are covered by the Constitution. They're covered by the Bill of Rights. Because I remember watching this documentary, and even it wasn't a documentary, it was a radio show where this guy was explaining how that he's an American nationalist, and he was trying to get a hold of his government, and the Federal Reserve said, what government do you want to speak with? Do you want to speak with the United States, or do you want to speak with the original republic called the United States of America? He said, I want to speak with the United States of America. Well, the Federal Reserve told him, the United States of America, if you want to speak to that government, go to Philadelphia. That's where their headquarters is. But if you are speaking with the United States Corporation, your government is in Washington. So understand that Barack Obama and his administration is a foreign, privately owned company. It's just like McDonald's and all the other companies which we see on a day-to-day basis. Understand where this stuff really in fact comes from. Because if there is any truth in this life, if there is any laws which we are protected by. We must understand where our laws are coming from, and if the laws have changed or if they haven't changed, or if they've been manipulated or not. But believe me, laws become more and more serious and in-depth as days go by, because of the fact that legislation is being passed enormous amounts of times, because politicians are just individuals who set policies. That's why they're called politicians. They don't care about your family. They don't care about who you are. They don't care about your job. All they care about is setting policies to put you into chains and bonds, put you into a deeper slavery where you can never get out of. And there's gonna come a time, and there's gonna come a day where the world will never be able to get out of the chains and bonds in which we are in today. And people must truly understand that in today's time we are given freedom. Because believe me, if I was back in the Middle Ages or in the times of the Crusades, I wouldn't be alive right now. Me speaking these kind of things, I wouldn't be alive right now. They would have hanged me by the stake, chopped me into two, kill my family, etc. That's how vicious the church was back in the Crusade times. If you were against the Roman Catholic Church, or you speak anything outside of their box, which is called being politically correct, which you go to school for, and which you learn how to kiss and when to kiss and who to kiss. Once you understand that's all school is really in fact doing. It's just teaching you what to kiss and when to kiss, period. Nothing else. Because once you are not a politically correct individual, and once you are not thinking German thoughts, the SS Gestapo, and the USSR, and the Soviet Union, and the communist movement, and the fascist movement, and the totalitarian dictatorship, they're coming for you. And they don't care about who you are, what you are doing, nothing. These people are truly masterminds when it comes to doing criminal, nefarious activities, because to them it's just a business. They want one thing and one thing only, and that's the only thing that they ever wanted, and that is to rule the whole entire globe, period. So understand that if we continue to stay in the position which we are at right now, we will continue to get dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber, until one day we won't even be able to fight about even things which are very important today in our people's society, and that's our salaries and our wages and etc. No. There's gonna come a time where we're gonna be so dumb that they're just gonna give us a sugar cane and be like, you know what? Here's a cane, go back to work. You'll be so dumb, you won't even understand math, you won't understand how money works, you won't understand nothing. There will be no such thing as forming a union and having that union fight for you and get higher salary and higher wages. There's none of that, no more. Period. This is the real truth. You want the real truth? The real truth that you've been lied to, you've been exploited, you've been tyrannized since day one. The same individuals have been slaughtering and killing and putting your family in slaves since day one. But you seem not to care, because that's the greatest thing which we as individuals like me face today. Simply a world full of unadulterated ignorance of individual catastrophe. People just do not care anymore. That's just the biggest problem which I face as an individual who's trying to educate my fellow man. Is the fact is, people are just simply under unadulterated ignorance. They just do not care anymore. And to wrap all of that, we are in what you call arrested development. Our education, we are arrested, meaning we cannot even get outside of the box of learning. from which they put in front of us. All they say is A plus B and that's it. You can't even go to Z. Because it's called arrested development, where you only developed on the rate which they want you to develop. And they don't want you to develop. They want you to go down. Down, down, down until one day they just give you a sugar cane and be like, here you go, now go back to work. You don't argue about salary, you don't argue about your lifestyle, you don't argue about your family's condition, you don't argue about your new car, you don't argue about vacation, you don't argue about breaks, you don't argue about the bathroom, you don't argue about food, you don't argue about nothing. You have nothing. I'm the boss, you're the worker. Get it straight. This is some serious stuff that's going on this earth. And until time, and I feel and I believe that it's time has come that truth must truly be given to the people who are truly going to use it and truly going to help their human family. Because time and time again, God gives us bright individuals, from the Royal Wrights to the Nostradamus to the Nikolai Teslas to the Helen Blavatsky's to the Michael Tessarians, to the Manly Palmer Hall, to the Jordan Maxwells. Incredible minds, incredible people. Zachariah Sitchin, Lana Cantrell. The list keeps on going on. Machiavelli, Plato, Aristotle, Nietzsche. The list keeps on going. But the majority of people will never ever know these type of individuals because they did not play for the Lakers or they did not play for the Spurs. We are in what you call people, folks, arrested development. Wake up. Understand where we are really going. But before we do that, understand who you really are. Understand where you have come from. Because God said it the best in the Bible. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Apostle Paul said it the best. God speaks to all of us during the night through his heavens, but no one seems to listen. Open your eyes. Realize where this stuff is really coming from. Because many look but cannot see. But the Bible says at the same time. The Bible is in the scriptures. Many will look with their eyes but not see. Many will hear with their ears but not hear. And many will feel with their hearts but not get the sense of it. This stuff is in the scriptures. So you Christians who claim that you know the truth, and you claim that you have found the truth, go do it again like I have said already. Go research. Go do it again. There's a saying, never trust the man who has found the truth. Always trust the man who is still looking for it. In regard to saying that truth is something that you must go on a journey, and only a few of us go on that journey. It's called the spiritual journey. The journey which is above all which we see today, all the materialistic things, all the possessions, everything. This is a corrupted system. Western civilization is a black hole. It's a muck filled with lies, deception, exploitation, tyranny, galore, just a huge monstrosity filled with Nazis, communists all over in our government. Period. From the Republican to the Democrats. Why do you think it's called the Democrats? Our government, especially in America, especially in the United States Corporation. The United States Corporation in administration has two sides to the government. Republican and Democrat. Democrat is communism. Republican is fascism. Nazism. Totalitarian dictatorship. Because why is it called Democrat? Because if logic alone would tell you, if you do your research and you study and you have a mentally astute mind, where you're able to reason under logic and critically think about what is really going on this earth, you'll finally begin to realize that why is it that all the communist countries on this earth is called Democrat? The Democratic Republic of Cuba, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Democratic Republic of China. It's called democratic for a reason. It's communism. So, in saying that Obama's party is enforcing communist movement, period, because there, like I said, there is a government behind the government. The United States government is simply communist versus Nazism, period. George Bush was under Nazism. That's why George Bush's grandfather, Scott Bush, he was the financial advisor for Adolf Hitler. He even set up Adolf Hitler's bank. There's a huge bank in America. It's called Union Bank. Well, one must understand that Union Bank is a Nazism bank. It's in fact designed, the idea came from, everything was from Adolf Hitler, because in Germany during the war there was a bank called the All Rights Nazi Union Bank, and George Bush's grandfather took that idea from Adolf Hitler and made the bank in America. How many of you know that? So when you're doing business with Union Bank, understand that you are doing business with Nazism. Understand where this stuff comes from, folks, because if there is really a truth going on, and if there is really a spiritual side to this life, you really must look at the whole truth, nothing but the truth, because these subjects are getting truly in depth, and you'll never learn about this stuff in school, because it has nothing to do with being politically correct. At school, all it does, it teaches you to be politically correct. Learn these subjects, kiss your teeth to the teacher, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. He is the authority. He has the license. And in this country, if you do anything to try to help your fellow man, ultimately, you're going to jail. If you try to act as if you have an education in this country, in this Western civilization, ultimately you will go to jail. Period. And if you do something very miraculous, you may just get bumped off. Meaning you may just get whacked. Just like the Martin Luther Kings, just like the Malcolm X's, just even like Jesus. Because Jesus said it the best. I am the truth and the light, and no one will come to God unless you come through me. If you want to go to God, you better go through the truth and the light, because Jesus said in the scriptures, go through the truth and the light. It may not be a pretty road, because Jesus explained to the world through the Holy Bible, through the New Testament story of Jesus. It explains to the world what happens to the truth and the light. You get hanged on a cross. You get nailed to a cross. You get spat on. You get hated. You die eventually, of course. And ultimately, you get ridiculed. That's what happens to the truth and the light on this earth. Whatever happened to Jesus That is what happens to the truth and the light on this earth. And that's what the ancient people, and that's what the Bible is trying to tell every single individual who really reads it with a critical eye, because in Matthew it says it perfectly. Many will look with their eyes but not see. Many will listen with their ears but not hear. And many will feel with their hearts but not get the sense of it. Understand where this stuff really comes from before you, your loved ones, your family will continue to be betrayed, continue to be lied to. But like I said, continue to crawl on your knees to these emperors and these presidents and these mayors and all of these leaders, and not knowing that they're human just like you. They put the pants on the same way you do. They put the shirt on the same way you do. They take a shower. They brush their teeth the same way you do. But one day, what you did not take care of, it will come back to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, read, study, understand where this stuff comes from, because Jesus said it the best. I am the truth and the light, and no one will see God. No one will see what is really happening on this earth. No one will see the real divine creation unless you go through the truth and the light, and that is Jesus. Thank you all for listening. This is another segment, Truth and Spiritual Ministries. My name is David Mowa, and stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.